Something just shook the car industry to its core. Not a software update, not a new EV, but a machine so powerful, so outrageous, it shouldn't even exist in 2025. In a world racing towards silent motors and digital dashboards, one company did the unthinkable. General Motors didn't follow the trend. They challenged it. While the industry buried combustion and crowned electricity king, GM dug deeper. And what they pulled out isn't just an engine. It's a warning shot. 1,000 plus horsepower. 10.35 L of unfiltered mechanical chaos. No batteries, no charging cables, just raw power that laughs in the face of eco-friendly. And at the center of it all, the CEO who stared down the future and pulled the trigger. If you think this is just another V8, you're not ready for what's coming. Hit like, smash subscribe, and get ready, because this engine might just end the electric revolution before it even begins. Because while Ford pours billions into electrifying the Mustang, while Mercedes phases out internal combustion entirely, and while Hyundai and Volkswagen chase battery tech like it's the new oil, GM walked the other way. They promised to go fully electric, too. They even built an entire Ultium platform, designed new EV models like the Cadillac Lyriq and the Silverado EV, and made public vows to end gasoline forever. So why, after all of that, would they suddenly build the most violent combustion engine they've ever created? Something doesn't add up. You don't invest tens of billions into electrification only to pivot back to gasoline, unless you've seen something terrifying. Because while the headlines scream about the EV revolution, the cracks are growing faster than the charge times. Charging infrastructure is falling apart once you leave major cities. Stations offline. Networks congested. Wait times growing. And batteries, they're not the miracle they were sold to be. The raw materials are locked behind geopolitical tension, environmental backlash, and child labor allegations. Lithium's not clean. It's just exported guilt. Prices haven't dropped, they've gone up. The average EV still costs over $50,000. And even with federal tax credits, most people can't touch them. Add insurance premiums, rising repair costs, and a fragile supply chain that can be shattered by a shipping delay in Shanghai, and suddenly, that clean, simple EV future looks a lot messier. Even Tesla is bleeding. Margins collapsing. Demand cooling. Cybertruck delays. Price slashes just to stay competitive. And while Elon tweets through it, GM is doing something far more dangerous. Staying silent and building something no one can ignore. Because this engine isn't just a product. It's a signal. A warning shot. A monstrous mechanical rebuttal to the electric future. And it's not just louder than a Tesla. It's speaking a different language entirely. GM didn't just stop at words. They put their money where their mouth is, unveiling what might be the most audacious internal combustion engine the world has seen in decades, the A naturally aspirated 10.35 LV8. So raw, so unfiltered, it smashes every modern trend in automotive engineering and leaves it in the dust. No turbos. No hybrid gimmicks. No electric motors quietly helping it out. This is pure mechanical fury, a roaring beast that drinks regular pump gas and breathes fire with every turn of its forged crankshaft. Over 1,004 horsepower. 876 lb-ft of torque. Numbers that sound like hyperbole until you feel that surge, that visceral punch that no battery ever delivers. What makes this engine truly terrifying isn't just its size or brute force. It's the engineering behind it. GM's engineers built this monster with symmetrical port architecture. That means airflow isn't just forced through, it's balanced, optimized, crafted for peak efficiency and durability. Every cubic inch screams precision. Designed to breathe as freely at 7,000 RPM as it does idling in your garage. Inside GM's walls, this engine isn't just another project. It's the ultimate combustion engine. The last greatest hurrah of an era they refused to surrender without a fight. But why now? Why reveal such a beast amid the frenzy of electric revolutions and government bans? It's not just about power, it's about strategy. GM is playing a dangerous game of hedge and disrupt. On one side, billions pour into EV factories, Ultium batteries, and electric pickups. On the other, they're lighting up the crate engine market with a monster that racers, modifiers, and die-hard enthusiasts can't resist. This engine is a psychological sledgehammer. It's a statement: combustion still thrills. Combustion still rules hearts. Asterisk asterisk. And it's a direct challenge to the growing EV backlash, a way to reconnect with drivers who feel alienated by silent, sterile electric cars. Rumors swirl around Detroit that this engine isn't just a crate motor for aftermarket builds. Whispers say GM may drop it into a final edition Camaro, a last gas-fueled salute before the EV era tries to erase muscle cars forever. If true, that Camaro won't just be a collector's item. It'll be a cultural event, a middle finger to the electric revolutionaries. But the ZZ632 isn't just brute strength. It's advanced tech wrapped in classic muscle. The engine's heart is a cast-iron block paired with aluminum heads, a marriage of old-school durability and modern weight-saving tactics. Forged pistons and a forged crankshaft like you'd find in a racing engine promise not just power, but endurance under the most brutal conditions. Balanced airflow design means combustion happens smoother and longer, reducing stress and increasing longevity. No battery needed. No hours lost at a charging station. No fragile software glitches, just instant, unfiltered performance. And in the battle between throttle response and thermal management, this V8 leaves many electric supercars gasping. EVs suffer from thermal throttling, heat buildup that forces software to limit power to protect the battery. This engine, it keeps screaming, lap after lap, street after street. This engine isn't just a relic. It's a weapon. A relentless performer built for a world that's rapidly forgetting how to love raw power. GM isn't just selling horsepower. They're selling rebellion against regulation, against the shrinking freedom of choice, against the sanitization of the driving experience, against a future dictated by battery shortages and charging deserts. This is a wake-up call to the industry. The combustion engine refuses to die quietly. It's adapting, evolving, and fighting back on GM's terms. In a market flooded with electric promises, the screams authenticity. It reminds the world that power isn't just numbers on a screen. It's the visceral roar, the shifting gears, the exhaust crackle that makes your chest vibrate. And while governments draw lines in the sand, automakers chase emissions credits, and consumers debate the right technology, GM has created an escape hatch. A loophole that keeps the engine alive in garages, tracks, and the hearts of those who crave the thrill of gasoline-fueled speed. This dual-track approach, mass electrification paired with extreme combustion, gives GM a resilience that few others possess. They're ready to pivot based on market demand, regulation changes, and consumer rebellion. And as the EV world stumbles on supply chain woes and infrastructure failures, GM's brute force V8 stands ready, not as a step back, but as a hammer to break the status quo. Electric may be the future, but it doesn't feel like it.